Greetings to all the participants to the International Virtual Conference on Education, Social Sciences and Technology 2021 or IVES 2021. I am Jason C. Cocjin, a faculty member of West Visayas State University in Iloilo City, Philippines. I am happy to share with you my study, The Social Construction of Reality Among Professional Overseas Filipino Workers in Thailand. There is significant growth in the movement of labor within ASEAN. There were 1.5 million migrant workers in 1991, and there were 6.9 million in 2015. The destinations of these intra-ASEAN migrant workers were Thailand and Malaysia that absorbed 35% of these workers, and Singapore with 21%. There is this so-called the Overseas Filipino Workers Phenomenon, or OFW phenomenon. It sees that the Philippines have a large proportion of its population working abroad. The movement from one country to another is said to be a process. It's material, discursive, or institutional process wherein the migrants are important players in cultural production. They are agents in generating and circulating practices, values, norms, and shared understanding of culture. In their interactions with places, institutions, and people, they produce personal interpretations of the circumstances about their paths and spaces that create communities. The overseas Filipino workers in other countries maintain their culture, but try to get along with the natives. They meet with fellow Filipinos to continue practicing their religion, culture, for comfort, and support for well-being. The general objective of this study is to discover and describe the social construction of reality among overseas Filipino workers in Thailand. The following are the statement of the problem. Number one, what new social cultural realities do professional OFWs encounter in Thailand? Number two, what new accumulated understanding of the new social cultural realities are passed on to them from their interactions with persons and institutions in Thailand? What new shared definitions of socio-cultural realities and patterns of acting are established, resulting from the OFW's everyday life experience in Thailand? Number four, how does an individual professional OFW engage with the ties in the workplace and general environment? Number five, how does a professional OFW build a new identity and internalize concrete roles acceptable in Thailand? And number six, how is the new subjective reality transformed into a new objective reality of defined shared situations and established patterns of acting by the professional OFWs in Thailand? The social construction of reality is one of the theoretical bases of this study. Its epistemology says that reality is socially constructed and that the sociology of knowledge must analyze the process in which this occurs. Social construction and symbolic interactionism consider individual subjective experience as a source of consciousness of the participants. The meanings attached to objects, symbols, and experiences influence the action of an individual. The participants. The 13 professional overseas Filipino workers consented to participate in the study. Their education and training took place in the Philippines. They are a diversified group with a wide range of work experience as Filipino professionals in Thailand. They were either still working or had already left Thailand at the time of the study. They were suggested by friends and the subjects themselves. This is called the snowballing method. Data analysis. Phenomenology was popularized by Alfred Schutz in the field of social science. According to him, social analysis should begin with an examination of the contents of individual consciousness, the phenomena that people are aware of, and regard them as stocks of socially transmitted information. Phenomenology also allowed the researcher to look into the participants' daily experience and help find out what they do in their daily lives. The nature of the experiences of the participants arises from the interview data as they characterizes the specific aspects of their experience. The descriptive qualitative analysis guided the study that data extraction and presentation focus on research aims. The narrative answered the research objectives, focusing on the circumstances, incidents, or experiences. The appreciative inquiry guided in finding the themes. It searched for the positive aspects of the participants' lives and careers. It also searched for the life affirming stories that are filled with meaningful events and actions. And using this, they identified the achievements and strengths of the practices among the professional OFWs in Thailand. What are the new socio-cultural realities encountered by professional OFWs in Thailand? Number one, they encountered the encompassing Buddhism. Number two, revered monarchy. Number three, an imposing society and religious freedom. Number four, progressive economy. Number five, they encountered traditional culture. Number six, the customary Thai people. Number seven, the varied encounters with the typical Filipinos and the whites. Number eight, favorable workplaces. And number nine, other institutions. The encounters of the participants with Thai culture constitute their knowledge of their current social world. It adds to the blend of ideas which are essential in routinizing, organizing, and making their acts and behavior predictable. It benefits them in classifying certain people and institutions in Thailand which necessitates appropriate actions. And it also assists Filipinos in recognizing and accepting the norms. What are the accumulated understanding of socio-cultural realities that were passed on to the professional OFWs in Thailand? Well, the participants understood that the Thai monarchy is vital. Secondly, Thai is a Buddhist country. Number three, they understood that karma and reincarnation are core beliefs. Number four, monks have societal goals. Number five, being respectful is essential. Number six, Thais are traditional people. Number seven, Filipino workers are admired and preferred. Number eight, change is inevitable. Number nine, there is connection between the little adjustment and the shared culture of Thais and Filipinos. The knowledge they gained and passed on to society primarily includes Buddhism and the monarchy. They understood that religion and royalty are crucial features of the current state of Thai society. These are the key institutions in Thailand that the participants encountered. The Thai economy, workplaces, markets, and Christian churches are the other institutions that regulate behavior of the Thais and the participants. The regulation is manifested through the setting up of predefined patterns of behavior. The experiences and encounters of the participants comprehended Thai society culture, roles, and status of members. It also helped them learn about the different categories of Thai society. Categories have associated definitions and concepts that are learned through its institutions. Categories of race and social status connect with the social goals of the participants. The participants' mutual awareness of Thais and their institutions, as well as their new social environment, is transformed into an established, familiar, and crystallized reality. The participants' experience with other people and institutions turned the concept or abstraction into a collective and factual construct. The new shared definitions refer to the actual Thai social conditions of the participants, which according to them are influenced by the Thai economy, Buddhism, monarchy, monks, and the Thai people. These new shared definitions also are related to their workplace relationships, elders, teachers, Filipinos in Thailand, Thai language, culture, Asians, a preference for being attractive and fit, and Thai food. Normal, established patterns of behavior in Thailand includes learning and speaking the Thai language, speaking English, and mixing English and Thai words. The accepted behaviors and actions include speaking softly, being respectful, doing the why and saying sawadee ka, giving up seats in public transport, dining and buying food from stalls, not touching the head, taking off shoes when entering the house. The sources of information and confirmations of the definitions of the social cultural realities in Thailand are through their observations, their own experiences, their interactions with their friends, co-workers, superiors, and clients, their respective readings, and through internet surfing. Using relevant knowledge and experience in Thailand helps them practice what they have learned every day that help and equip them to function as individuals and professionals. It also helps them fulfill their duties and responsibilities as Filipinos and as professionals. Being professionals helps and encourages the participants to engage appropriately with the Thais. The Filipinos are perceptive mainly with the Thais in their relationship with other individuals. This is related to Hocano's description of the Filipino as sensitive and having a societal framework of personalism. The OFWs, Thais, and other actors in Thailand created the shared definitions of realities and patterns of acting. The common descriptions and explanations of the actual Thai social condition and manner of conduct are assumed to be true. These shared realities and patterns of actions are what the Thais and other actors in Thailand expect the participants to know and do. Social institutions regulate the behavior of both Thais and Filipinos through existing patterns of conduct. These institutions became a reality in the everyday lives of the participants. How the professional OFW engages with Thais in the workplace and general environment. They engage with the Thais respectfully, professionally, personally, appropriately, and suitably. Their behavior is based who they are as individuals, Filipinos, and professionals through knowledge of social reality in Thailand. Relationship patterns arose from their desire to accomplish their tasks as professionals and to live happily in Thailand. The professional Filipinos engage with the Thais and institutions with galang. Being respectful underlies Filipino interpersonal relationships. Pakikisama is obvious among the participants. This is, in a moral sense, the need to go along with others, interested, compassionate, and to offer concessions. Filipino workers take action in generating and circulating tradition, beliefs, norms, and shared cultural knowledge. The Filipino workers in other countries are thought to be better suited to aligning their personal experience of events with the social environment in foreign places. What are the new identity of the participants in Thailand? This would include speaking the Thai language, doing the why, and saying sawadika, sawadika, speaking softly, showing respect for the monks, being mindful of the monarchy. The new identity of the participants also includes a heightened sense of nationalism or patriotism, respect for elders, awareness to be respectful, adopting an attitude of going with the flow, adopting the proverb, when in Rome, do as what the Romans do, and adopting a positive attitude. They either would dress up and put cosmetics or just dress simply and being cautious of interacting with fellow Filipinos. Their acquisition of appropriate values, skills, beliefs, and attitudes in Thailand, as well as their respective roles in the nation, is an essential aspect of this process. The process of embracing or incorporating a Thai culture, idea, viewpoint, belief, or other notion is mostly concerned with their respective jobs. Every person's identity is shaped by their function as an Asian, Filipino, or foreigner in Thailand. Their sense of self is defined by their function as a friend and person in Thailand as they go about their daily lives. The transformation of subjective reality into objective reality of shared situation and established patterns of behavior would include justifying and explaining their actions and Thai system or an idea as acceptable. Now, this is done through Thai religion, government, markets, and other institutions, the memories of the participants of their own culture, and the norms of Buddhism, monarchy, and Thai culture. Secondly, by describing and accepting things as normal. And thirdly, some of their actions in Thailand were routinized and eventually became commonplace. Generally, their collective description of the Thai economy, religion, and government justifies and explains Thai society and culture. Thai customs became second nature to them, such as speaking quietly and smiling during conversations, being respectful and giving up seats on public transportation to monks and elderly people. Conclusions. The socio-cultural experiences of the participants in Thailand are consistent with the teachings of Buddhism of harmony and community. The participants experienced the monarchy's overarching role and influence in other institutions of Thailand, such as the family, government, and workplaces. Their interactions with relevant people were instrumental in their understanding of their experience of the actual social conditions in Thailand. In gathering relevant knowledge and establishing socio-cultural realities, the varied experiences of the participants, especially their interactions, is crucial. The Thai habits were assimilated by the participants. Doing the why and saying sawadika were two of the practices that were internalized and eventually externalized by all participants. The Filipino in Thai society, together with institutions and other players, is an agent of constructing new social realities. The development of a new identity depends on the Filipino as a person and as a professional. The Filipino joins the Thai social environment characterized by its culture, government, and economy with his or her personality, circumstances, and motivations and ambitions. It was necessary for him or her to adhere to Thai cultural norms and cultivate acceptable attitudes in order to complete his or her tasks as a professional and function well in Thai society. This acceptance of roles is connected to their occupation and as individuals in the country. The participants who were socialized in Western institutions and Eastern thought and practice are well adapted in Thai social environment as professionals and individuals. Their actions in the Thai systems are justified and explained through their experiences both in the Philippines and in Thailand. They believe in the ideas and values existing in the Philippines, Thailand, and other places. This referencing of the universality of principles and values enables the Filipinos in Thailand to explain their collective circumstances. Thank you.